Welcome to a very wet Sepang International Circuit here in Malaysia. The heavens just opened before we got underway in qualifying ahead of our 15-minute bonanza here in Sepang. And well, for the first time this season, the riders have to contend with the wet conditions, which really does put a lot of pressure on these riders to really deliver in the next 50 minutes, and the pressure has already got to Piero Ricciuti, who's gone down to turn number 2, so not a good start to qualifying for the Italian.
No, not at all, but it really shows us just how difficult these conditions are to manage. The rider who's quickest at adapting them is going to be the rider who's going to get the most benefit out of this session and try and get that coveted pole position, which is going to be so important. We're just seeing there, Davide Teresi has gone down as well. So these are tricky conditions for our riders and gamers to master.
They are indeed. Thankfully though, the rain has stopped here in Sepang, which means hopefully if the rain stays away, the track will get drier and drier as the session goes on, which means that timing is absolute paramount towards the end of qualifying. Whoever comes across the line last will probably have the best track conditions and will be in prime position to maybe take pole position. And talking of pole position, Connor, Daniele Aloy does need to rebound in qualifying, doesn't he, after what was quite a treacherous qualifying back in Thailand, qualifying all the way down at the bottom of the standings.
Yeah, it was not the start to this Global Series Round 2 that he would have wanted. Not at all, really. We're looking at Spadalonga now as he tries to get his season underway in earnest. A good position in the grid here at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit would be just what he needs. It would also be very good for Flavio Baldacci, the rookie this season on that Pramac machine. He has been impressive so far. He was excellent in the first round. We'll see what he can do this time around. And again, he'll be looking for the best possible position on the grid.
Yeah, Baldacci has, as you quite rightly said, Connor, been quite impressive so far in 2024, being one of the top runners in terms of qualifying, but when it comes to the race, he's not quite delivered what we thought he might have done. Currently sitting all the way down at 7th in the standings on 24 points, which isn't disastrous by any means. He's currently level with Davide Teresi, only 1 point behind Piero Ricciuti, who we are watching on screen now. The number 5 on board the LCR Honda did go down at the start of the session, but has gathered himself together quite brilliantly and is currently on a good lap as we're now watching Dipo Akbar, the Gresini racing rider, the Indonesian, and there's a lot of fans from Indonesia watching, and they'll be cheering on Dipo Akbar as we see him on screen now, full face of focus as he goes through the fast left-hander, turn number 5, before flicking it over to the right, and then a short blast down the straight towards the double apex right-hander, turns 7 and 8, which Kingsta is going through now, and you can't really decipher too many differences between Dipo Akbar and Kingsta. One looks a bit more focused and just a bit more into it than the other. Kingsta just chilling back a little bit.
Riding that bike.
Yeah,
Kingsta is riding that bike. You can just see him moving through the corners like a pro. Adrian, Liam, is a real expert in qualifying here. He's been on pole in 2020 and in 2023. So he was on pole last year, he was on pole back in 2020. Can he do it again this time around on that Honda machine?
Yeah, the Repsol Honda rider really is at one with the Sepang International Circuit, but not quite one at the final corner. Runs a little bit deep, maybe a bit too deep to square off that apex perfectly as he comes across the line to set his first time lap of qualifying, and it goes to pole position as we now wait for everyone else to come across the line. Here is your championship leader, Daniele Aloy, comes across the line, and well, he 4th position so far for the Ducati rider, who did take a brace of victories in round 1 sprint victory and the 2 race wins, which for the first time in the sprint era is the first time that's ever been done by anybody. His Kingsta's gone down a little bit further back, but so far on this lap, once again, Adrian setting the timing sectors alight. Yeah,
Adrian has been absolutely spectacular. What a sensational lap. He'll be looking to win here for the first time when we go racing at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. He finished 2nd in 2020, although he did finish as the champion that year, so maybe he didn't need to do any better either. And then last year he finished third, so he's going to be desperate to get on that top step of the podium this time around in the 2024 campaign.
Yeah, I feel like it's podium or bust for Adrian on board that Repsol Honda machine. However, it looks to be podium, not bust, so far on this lap for your two-time champion. As Davide Turuti's had a little bit of a slip-off for the back. We're now watching your current reigning champion, Jack Hammer, the British rider, as we see him on screen now. Another rider fully focused on the task at hand, and another rider we just see moving ever so slightly, either right or left, whichever corner they are going into. Quite a normal thing to see from these riders, as they are completely focused on tracking, especially in those wet conditions where any small mistake can be disastrous. However, it looks like on this lap he is closing in on your current pole sitter, Adrian. So this could be really interesting to see what the lap time is when he comes across the line, as XL Rock, the Thai rider who will be starting his first proper race a little bit later on, has just gone down for the back. Jack Hammer's just slid off, just saw his bike go down
Jack Hammer
at the final corner. He was pushing on, and he's pushed a little bit too much, and he slipped off at the final corner. What can Jack Hammer do? What potential disastrous situation will that put the reigning champion in, as Daniele Aloi, the pole hound, is back on top. The Italian is back to pole position, sitting ways, which we just see that back Italian was a little bit of a blip, and he's back where he feels most comfortable, which is at the top of the timing monitor.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniele Aloi, this is where we've become accustomed to seeing him. Although he doesn't need to be starting from pole position if he wants to win a race. We saw that last time out in Phillip Island, P4, and a win regardless. He was actually leading from that first corner in that race, but I think it becomes a lot easier if you are starting from pole for a rider like Daniele Aloi.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just been getting a couple of tips here from maybe Pecco Bagnaia or Jorge Martin about the GP24 start device, because they've been absolutely rapid so far this season, and I think back in Phillip Island proved that Daniele Aloi has got the metal underneath him as well to do exactly what Jorge Martin and Pecco Bagnaia have been doing in 2024. But on this current lap, no improvements for now from Daniele Aloi. Maybe with 7 minutes to go, he'll just get himself back into the pits, have a little bit of a breather before going again in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, it will be drying off on the track. It is very hot out there as well for these riders. So we'll see what he's still got up his sleeve. Look at the concentration on Daniele Aloi, and Trast's faces there. Just utterly in the zone, I think is the appropriate phrase to use here. Trast just following Aloi. He's currently the pole sitter, so if you're going to be following anyone, well, you may as well follow him.
Yeah, well indeed, and Trast is the most experienced rider on the grid. Three-time champion, of course, has the most amount of wins in MotoGP eSport. 16 is currently sitting on, as we watch Daniele Aloi and Trast both coming into the pits. The Yamaha Monster rider here just pits on bike number 73. Sitting in fourth position at the moment is the Italian, and well, 2/10 off Daniele Aloi is not a bad result whatsoever, considering how on point in qualifying so far in 2024 Daniele Aloi has been, as we're watching Kangsta coming through towards the end of sector number 3, coming through the timing beam around about now. Well, the Gas rider, and is he improving on this lap? Doesn't look like he is at all at the moment.
No, but if things finish as we are, you would be starting from the second row. It's not too bad a position to begin a race from, but you don't really want to be caught in the middle of the pack either, especially when we can see things just getting a bit chaotic, for the absence of a better term, when we get things underway. Well, he seems to be doing well so far.
We're back with Davide Turisi, who started another lap. The Italian who set pole position back in Phillip Island. He was really at one in qualifying and practice with the Australian circuit, but when it came to the race, it was all undone. I think we recorded something like 4 crashes in the race for Davide Turisi.
Yeah, tough time out there.
Yeah, from pole position to finishing dead last, Davide Turisi will be hoping to put that monster to bed here at the Sepang International Circuit.
He will be, but he has shown us that he is capable of getting that pole position. He just needs to get that lap together this time around here in Malaysia.
We're back with Jack Hammer, who is in last position for the time being, but currently on a better lap now. He was on for pole position a couple of minutes ago before he slipped off, not at this corner here, but the final corner towards the end of lap. Through turn number 10 he goes, the fast right-hander, which opens up ever so slightly. As Keinsta further back on the other RC16 has slipped off just after sector 2. XL Rock as well, the Trackhouse Racing rider, he's gone down further back as well. But we're watching our current champion, Jack Hammer, from the United Kingdom, comes through the timing being for sector 3, and once more on a lap time that looks to be very close to Adrian and Daniele Aloi. Now powering down the back straight once again as the KTM rider late on the brakes now. Just make sure that he doesn't slip off like he did a couple of minutes ago. In towards the final corner, runs a little bit deep at turn 16, but that's no problem there for your current champion. He squares off the corner, coming across the line. What will it be? Will it be pole position?
Oh,
yes, it will, by
Jack
2 tenths of a second.
What about that?
A lap. What a response from your current champion. We have Ricciuti coming across the line. He's onto the front row as well. What a lap there from Piero Ricciuti. We see him on screen. He's very, very pleased with that lap. A wry smile there as he runs on a little bit at turn number 1.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant from Ricciuti there. Jack Hammer, though, absolutely sensational. Just remind you all that he's the only rider that's currently competing in the MotoGP eSport Global Series to have won here, and he's just shown us exactly why. Absolutely sensational stuff from Jack Hammer there.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant here in 2023 when he did take that victory here in Sepang on his way to the championship. And he's on another lap, right? It's a stonking lap from Jack Hammer through sector 1, even better than he was only moments ago through turns at number 7 and 8. We got almost running off, but managed to just hit that kill, which sometimes is quite useful, because if you just clip it, it helps bring the bike back round and you can maybe just square it off the apex. It looks like Adrian, did he have a bit of a moment coming out of turn 9? So far, he's on for personal best as once more Jack Hammer just behind him on circuit. Through sector 2 he's come, and once more on that pole position lap. Yeah,
Adrian is more than capable of getting onto that front row and maybe even getting pole, but the question is whether he's got the time to do so. I mean, he's such a great rider, a great gamer at this circuit, but he's got to just find that limit and make sure he doesn't go over it, make sure he doesn't go down, keep himself composed and get that lap time that he so desperately needs. He's just 3 tenths off at the time being.
Yeah, he was sitting on pole position roughly about 10 minutes ago. He's now slipped back to the head of the second row, but he's currently on an improvement as he comes across the line. What can your 2-time champion do? Will it be front row?
Oh.
No! Personal best for Adrian, but he still sits at the front of the second row. If Jack Hammer comes across the line, no improvement on that lap, but I don't think he will care too much, because he's set his stall out and basically asked the others, if you can beat that one, try your best, but I don't think you can. And when push came to shove, it was time for hammer time, and Jack Hammer smashed it as Keinsta goes down a little bit further back. Baldacci, he's on a good lap here. This could be second row, this could be front row for Baldacci. We just saw Deepo Akbar slide off at the final corner. Coming across the line comes the Italian on the Prima Primary Racing bike. Doesn't improve, lost a lot of time in that final sector, but corner, Trast and Davide Teresi also red sectors through sector 1.
Yeah, Flavio Baldacci had set the fastest time in sector 1. That's just been smashed by Trast and Davide Teresi. We'll see now who has been the best through that sector. It does seem to be the sector where riders are capable of going faster, and then they're struggling a bit later on in that final sector, as you just mentioned, and as was the case with Flavio Baldacci. We'll just have to wait and see how they get through these sectors before crossing that line. Oh, Teresi's down. He was right at the limit there, and Davide Teresi goes down on what looked like a very, very good lap. For the time being, he remains in P6, but with the other riders finishing their laps, well, it remains to be seen whether he'll stay there or not.
What a time to be riding on board with Davide Teresi as the Aprilia rider.
Brilliant TV direction right there.
Absolutely was. It's like they preempted that happening. But here we are with the Ducati rider coming up to turn 7, where we just saw Teresi go down only moments ago. No such problem there for the Ducati rider. Across the curb he goes, hits the apex at number 8, down towards turn number 9. But watching Trast, your 3-time champion, 16-time race winner here in MotoGP eSport. Keinsta's gone down, but we're watching Trast hits the apex of the final corner. Just a very awkward final corner here at Sepang International Circuit. Comes across the line, does the number 73. Will it be an improvement?
Oh.
Yes, to 4th place. Demotes Adrian back 1 position down to 5th. So for now, Trast is in 4th, but we have to watch Daniele Aloe as he was on for a faster lap time at the end of the session. Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. However, it was hammer time from Jack Hammer as he says pole position, and this is how the rest of the grid look heading into race number 1.
Yeah, following Jack Hammer is Daniele Aloe and Piero Ricciuti, who will be on that front row. After them, Trast Adrian and Davide Turrisi. Behind them, Flavio Baldacci, Keinster and Spadalongo. And in P10, Exa Rock. In P11, Deepo Akbar.